Thank you all. Let us begin today's webinar. We will begin by introducing HAQQ to all of you. Now, you may already know us, in which case it will be a good refresher. But for those of you who don't, HAQQ was founded with the mission of digitizing justice, making it accessible, making legal services accessible, and causing a revolution in the legal landscape through technology. We really believe technology will be the lawyer's best friend. We believe technology is the lawyer's greatest weapon, and we should not be afraid of AI. We should not be afraid of technology. We should be the first to embrace it because we will be the ones that make the most use of it. If you'd like to see more about our products and see how we help lawyers increase their revenue, digitize their entire office workflows, and even connect with other lawyers, we encourage you to click on this link, lawyer.haqq.me, where you can claim your free MyHAQQ account. For more about HAQQ, HAQQ is led by an international board of directors, where I serve as the CEO, along with my co-founder, Maitre Abbas Abalan, Dr. Anatoly van der Krans, Hassan Mohammed, Mauro Romano, and Ramsey. We bring a wide range of experience from different fields in technology, law, business, entrepreneurship, finance, and operations. All of us committed to advancing our mission of digitizing justice worldwide. HAQQ is currently operating in 34 countries with more than 6,000 lawyers subscribed, and our partners include NVIDIA, the Emirates Legal Network, and quite recently, the Tripoli Bar Association, where we will be building the first e-bar portal in the Middle East. Common Insurance is also a partner, and with HAQQ, you can secure 50% off your insurance plan for yourself and your family. If this is of interest to you and you would like to know more about the company, please feel free to, again, go to the link, lawyer.haqq.me, because that's where you will also get access to our legal community events. We always organize the world's biggest community events when it comes to legal technology. Our last conference got more than 3,000 people in 11 countries to come and attend in Beirut. And we encourage you to click on the WhatsApp link if you would like to join our WhatsApp community. All participants of this webinar will benefit from a certificate if they complete the webinar. Furthermore, you will also gain access to today's marketing material and today's course. Today's agenda, we begin by talking about the key elements, the types of AI, the current opportunities and use cases, the nature of construction law, and how we can facilitate and perhaps even hinder construction. Today's speaker is a very dear friend of mine and a luminary in the legal field. His name is Maitre Issam Amro. You will see his picture in a bit. Maitre Issam Amro is the co-founder of the Lebanon Law Review. He is a member of the Beirut Bar Association, and he's a contracts manager as well. Maitre Issam founded the Lebanon Law Review in 2019, and he grew it to be the region's biggest legal academia publishing house. So without further ado, Maitre Issam, the stage is yours. We are looking forward to hearing from you.
Sorry, I couldn't unmute myself earlier. Hi. Thank you, Antoine, for this introduction. And I would like to thank you all for taking this hour of your Friday afternoon to join us in this webinar, in which we will be discussing the utilization and the use of artificial intelligence in both construction projects and construction disputes. Okay. When I received the template slides, it had a slide to insert a quotation. I do not know what this quote has to do with construction projects, but when I asked ChatGPT to give me a quote about construction projects, disputes, and artificial intelligence, it made a custom one. So I wanted a human face behind the quote. So ChatGPT did not even know what it has to do with construction projects, but it shows in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity for Albert Einstein. And in reality, for a split second, I thought about it and I realized that actually in the middle of difficulty, because as we speak now, you will realize that construction projects are quite difficult. And in the middle of all of this difficulty lies the opportunity of utilizing artificial intelligence. To start off, I do not know if how many of you are actually familiar with construction projects and the key elements of the projects. To make it easier, every time I will say projects, I will be referring to construction projects. Every time I'll say dispute, I'll be referring to the dispute resolution in construction projects so that I do not repeat myself 1,000 times. So the key elements of a project are the parties, the contract management, tendering, duration, delivery, and cost. Why did I choose these 6 elements? Is because these elements are the exact same features we will be targeting when we check the utilization of AI and the possible uses and opportunities. To give you a small overview on projects, they vary in scale and size. You might have a small size construction project. For example, you own a piece of land. You would like to shed a building on this land. You hire a contractor. This contractor hires subcontractors. In this case, you are the employer/developer, and you have the contractor who hires subcontractors. Assuming you do not have enough money to pay for the contractor to build you 3 or 4-story building, you need financing. You get funding. You get it from lenders. And since this is a multi-contract, multi-party transaction, if we could call it so, it requires contract administration and management. Most of the times, a separate party does this contract administration and management. And this is why contracts that relate to projects must be aligned together, must be coherent, should not have many contradictions, especially with respect to dispute resolution clauses, because you have multi-parties in international complex projects. It becomes more difficult, especially when you have the government involved in the case of public-private partnerships, and then it gets more complicated. That's why you need effective contract management and administration to administer the relationship between all the parties within the project. Projects start off by tendering, and it's when you as an employer, as a developer, want to choose the best contractor, yet the best price, the quality you set out in the conditions you want. You bring in offers, different offers. And such offers, when you get to choose the one you want, and the employer whom you choose, designate to move forward with, that's the tendering process. Duration, delivery, and cost are the 3 foundations also for any dispute claim in construction. Because the end goal, the main target for any developer is to have the project delivered. And the contractor wants his money. Unexpected delays happen, unexpected difficulties occur, which makes the project more expensive to the contractor, more expensive equally to the developer. One party does not wish to pay, one party will not deliver, and then the dispute arises. To facilitate this project, this dispute resolution process, we will need artificial intelligence. However, the nature of construction law is quite different from nature of other areas of law. It is not self-contained, even though some countries have legislations under the name construction law, but construction projects, disputes arising out of projects are not self-contained as in the legal framework, because you have multiple areas of law involved in this case, such as contract law, environmental law, which is a very dynamic area, tort, health and safety. So all of these areas of law are involved within a project, within the possibility of a dispute arising during this project's life, which might be a matter of contract law or a matter of environmental law, in case a contractor is breaching environmental law provisions, or in case of health and safety. A contractor or subcontractors do not comply with the health and safety regulations. So this is also a hindering feature, which we will discuss later. After this overview on construction in terms of projects, the overview of the process, and the key elements, we will now discuss the 3 types of AI. This refers to where we actually stand today. Today, we actually are before these 3 types of artificial intelligence. We have super intelligence, general AI, and narrow AI. What do we mean by the 3 types of AI? Narrow AI is very specialized. It's highly specialized. It's when you create a software, or when you have a software model of artificial intelligence which only focuses on one task. It's specialized for one main task. While general AI, as the name says, is more general. It can learn across different domains. It can gain the knowledge through different learning technology integrated into general AI to perform more tasks than the narrow AI would do, and across different domains, rather than just having it specialized to one area or one task at a time. And super intelligence is the way we are supposed to be super intelligent, have the problem-solving skills, the human intelligence feature to process problems, be able to predict outcomes, analyze a case. So that's the ultimate target. However, in our current position, super intelligence is not yet ready to surpass human intelligence or to be able to make decision making. So most of our focus is on general AI and narrow AI. When we talk about facilitating features for the purposes of this webinar or this topic, we're not talking about the facilitating features of artificial intelligence, but we are rather talking about the facilitating features of the projects, of construction projects. Why? Because it is believed that construction projects have certain features that facilitate or allow for the use of AI. There are many multiple features. However, I would like to discuss 4 main features. Number 1 is the repetitiveness of the procedure. This repetitiveness of the procedure means that construction projects are repetitive in nature. They are repetitive in nature in terms of what happens, what occurs, and how the project's life is. In the brief overview I shared with you, the renders phase, and then the tendering, the contract, the execution of the project, and inevitably the dispute. Disputes occur, by the way, in construction projects during the whole course, during the whole life of the project itself. So you target such disputes on a dispute per dispute basis. And then you try to mainly avoid this dispute. And that's one of the most important uses of AI in projects. If this dispute could not be avoided, then you would have to resolve it. And then AI is also include, you utilize artificial intelligence in the dispute resolution process. So the repetitiveness of procedures of construction projects allows for the utilization of artificial intelligence. Second of all, contracts. FIDIC, the NEC, and the JCT contracts are standard contracts, and they are the most, or they're the commonly used, most common contracts used in construction projects. JCT is for small and medium contracts. NEC and FIDIC are standard form contracts that have different provisions, different approaches, especially with respect to payments, scheduling, and dispute resolution. However, most lawyers, or all lawyers, when they use the standard form contracts in terms of FIDIC and NEC or even JCT, they are highly amended. You do not take the standard form contract as is. It is highly amended before signed and used for the project purposes. Thirdly, the suitability of receiving AI. What do we mean by the suitability of receiving AI? Aspects of disputes. Now, I believe there's a poll at some point during this webinar. So there was one piece of information I was about to give you, but I'd keep it for the poll for you to decide on it. But considerable caseload allows for the suitability of receiving artificial intelligence. Last, it's the evidence volume. In construction projects, you have a huge volume, a significant volume of evidence, which allows for the use of AI to gather this evidence, to administer it, to be proactive in terms of information governance. On the other side of facilitating features, construction projects and disputes have features that actually hinder the possibility of using AI. The first is the scarcity of data. And by that, we mean the confidentiality of the awards. Even though most construction projects are resolved, some of them, even though there are certain specialized courts for construction projects, for example, the Technology and Construction Court in the UK, in England. However, most construction projects are resolved through international arbitration, alternative dispute resolution methods such as statutory adjudication or mediation. Therefore, these decisions are confidential. The scarcity of the data hinders the use of AI for later projects, because you are not able to feed AI data from the projects, from the disputes, the outcome, how it was resolved. Therefore, we are scarce in data. Secondly, it's the difficulty in outcome prediction, especially that nature of the construction law, as we discussed, is not self-contained. Different areas of law are involved. It is difficult to predict the outcome of a certain dispute. However, this does not mean we are not able to use AI. To the contrary, there are many opportunities to utilize artificial intelligence in both project's lifetime and in case of a dispute, which will inevitably occur. In the context of a project's life, technology and artificial intelligence can be used for multiple purposes. We start off by tendering, which was one of the key elements we discussed for projects. And in my personal opinion, I believe that the utilization of artificial intelligence in a tendering process is very important for governance, transparency, to avoid conflict of interest, especially that you receive offers from different companies, and in this industry, you are exposed to all companies, contractors, and by tendering through artificial intelligence, you limit this conflict of interest. Secondly, it's risk spotting. I'll give you a brief example on that. After risk spotting, we have document review and management, and probably that's the most dominant feature or the most dominant opportunity for utilizing artificial intelligence in the project's life, in terms of reviewing the standard form contracts, the contract management and administration, given that it's a multi-party transaction, it's a multi-contract transaction. Therefore, artificial intelligence can be utilized for document review and document management, scheduling, because duration and delivery are a key factor for any construction project. They're the main claim basis for disputes. Therefore, utilizing artificial intelligence for scheduling tasks, scheduling phases is highly efficient. Therefore, you maximize efficiency. And lastly, health and safety. It's last but not least, because health and safety are a very important issue in construction projects, and generally in any business, health and safety is a very important matter. Therefore, we have different AI models which can be used for ensuring compliance with health and safety regulations. I think, okay. Now, on the other side of the project is the dispute. Disputes inevitably occur during a project's life, especially that a multi-party nature and the multi-contract nature includes high complexity. In international construction projects, it becomes very complex. However, we have two important areas which AI can be utilized for the purposes of dispute resolution process. It's evidence and decision making. In terms of evidence, we have certain considerations that need to be taken into account. However, for decision making, I'm not going to say that artificial intelligence will be used to replace an arbitrator in the meantime, because we have several obstacles to prevent that. Mainly, it's the legislations. Many countries have legislations which require a human arbitrator. And for example, it's the French Code for Civil Procedure in Article 1450 explicitly says that only a natural person having full capacity must act as an arbitrator. The Federal Law of the United Arab Emirates, Law number 6 for the year of 2018, in Article 10, Paragraph 1, explicitly says that in addition to requirements, etc., the arbitrator shall be a physical person. Turkish law, Dutch, Scotland, and Brazil explicitly say that an arbitrator must be human, physical, having full capacity, therefore a physical person. Therefore, we exclude the idea of having an arbitrator decision maker. Yet, I am confident in the use of AI in decision making in terms of alternative dispute resolution methods. When I say ADR, I do not mean arbitration, because it is not ADR. I refer to mediation, statutory adjudication, mainly these two. And there is no issue in having robot mediator or a robot adjudicator. In terms of evidence, we have our most relevant considerations are cost, and human error, oversight. Even with the assistance of technology, human reviewers still play a very significant role in technology assisted review process, because even oversight can still occur during the training and the review phases for AI. We have an ethical consideration, a legal consideration, in which we must be compliant with data protection laws, and the change in document landscape is also a consideration which we must take into account. Now, to answer these sets of questions, do current laws permit AI decision making? As we said, some laws do not, because they explicitly require a human arbitrator. Is the current model creative enough? No. And why do I ask this question? Because the legal practice in itself is a creative exercise, and current AI models are not well prepared. They're still limited in when it comes to complex problems or novel situations, because sometimes these situations do not fit well in the pre-existing data AI has already. So arbitrators who resolve international construction disputes encounter new situations, new arguments. And I will remind you of the scarcity of data because of the confidentiality of awards at one point and the confidentiality of ADR decisions. Now, what is legal ontology and how AI does not truly understand the legal ontology? AI does not have legal reasoning. It is excellent in predicting an outcome. The accuracy of this prediction, however, will highly depend on the availability of the existing data. And what data do we need? Like, what do we actually need from artificial intelligence? We require data on the project, on construction law, and on other projects to be able to decide, to be able to provide evidence, utilize it as expert evidence. We need data on the project itself, which is gathered. I'm going to give you a very small example on how we might gather data through artificial intelligence during a project's life and be proactive in reviewing this data at the time. For example, let's imagine workers going on site with their cameras on their helmets, and they record bricks which are situated in one area of the facility. Every morning they pass by, and for a very unknown reason, it is witnessed that the bricks amount, the volume, have unexpectedly went below the threshold. So in this case, artificial intelligence will be able to analyze this data and understand what might have occurred during a project's life. They might be able to understand if a wall has been recently built, if these bricks have been used or not, through other documents which are provided in the day-to-day course of a project. So we need data on the current project itself, on construction law, which is not self-contained, so you do not just need so therefore you need data on not just construction law itself, but contract law, environmental law, health and safety, and other areas of law which are certainly needed for a construction project. And data on other projects to be able to compare, to analyze, and to predict outcome based on this available data. As for the legal and ethical boundaries, I've already explained that it is needed to take into account legal considerations such as GDPR and other ethical means of storing this data and utilizing it. Is it fluent or accurate? For example, let's take ChatGPT. ChatGPT is fluent, is definitely fluent. Ask ChatGPT for an essay. It uses all these sophisticated English terminology which you then try to paraphrase and make simpler, especially if you are not as fluent as you might be expected to be. However, it's not very accurate. It lacks accuracy. So it's a battle between fluency and accuracy at one point. Even if you try to compare ChatGPT with Google's Gemini, and both are fluent yet not accurate. So this is a relevant consideration. Building and it's a digital representation of the facility of the features of such of a project. It plays as a shared knowledge resource for information, which therefore becomes a reliable base decision making. And if we would link BIM to construction project ways to focus on two main points: automated construction and blockchain. So for automated construction, we have 3 to 4 ideas we could be discussing briefly. It's design optimization, like 3D modeling, which helps in optimizing designs, reducing errors. Every centimeter actually plays a significant role in construction project. It makes a huge difference. 10 centimeters, depth, width, everything is critical. That's why many legal practitioners in commercial arbitration do avoid construction, because it is highly technical. I'm not a very technical man myself. I'm not an engineer, but you get to know that technicalities actually matter. Second, it's modular construction. It's detailed planning, the precision and prefabrication. And then you have the automation of a construction. That's why it's called automated construction. At one point, construction becomes automated through bricklaying, concrete pouring, site surveying. And these are like 3 main features of automated construction and BIM. As for blockchain, it's the incorporation of smart contracts. It's increased and supply chain management. These are how BIM relates to both automated construction and blockchain. To wrap this up, we are now artificial intelligence is a huge need for a project's life and a huge need to compute. Not allow AI at this point to take an arbitrator's role due to the creative exercise the legal practice is, and the legal ontology and the legal reasoning it requires. However, we might still be using it for evidence purposes, as discussed earlier. So we need conditions to, we need to impose conditions, or we need to meet certain conditions to be able to utilize artificial intelligence during a dispute between the parties of a construction project. As for a project's life, you do not need to meet all 3 conditions. However, you need to incorporate it in your contract. You need to make it an important element for the contractor, the subcontractors. As a developer or a contractor, you need to take it into consideration, because sometimes it saves you time, it saves you money, not necessarily because it will cost you as much as it will save you, but it still saves you at the end of the day. So you need 3 conditions, and they need to be met. All 3 conditions must be met together. It's the parties' agreement. All parties of the dispute must agree to the use of AI in a certain dispute for the purposes of resolution, whether it be expert evidence, provide the data collected, due process, and ultimate human oversight. This ultimate human oversight, if we are talking in the case of an arbitration, will be dealt with or will be handled by the arbitrator, the chairman, the presiding arbitrator over the case, who will have full oversight on the use of AI in the course of this dispute resolution. In case it was not an arbitration and we weren't having an AI mediator, it would be the mediator, the adjudicator, the dispute board, but you still need full human oversight over the use of AI. And I don't know if we're allowed to or not, but I would love to give some room for questions and answers, and I would be more than glad to answer any questions you have.
Please, if anyone has any questions, you can raise your hand so I can give you permission to speak. Or you can just ask your question in the chat.
And results, Paul, or not?
Do you want me to end the results of the poll?
Like a few minutes before the webinar ends, because we have it. See the chat.
Okay, people are raising their hands.
Hello. Thank you for the webinar. I just have a question. What did you mean by legal ontology?
It's the legal reasoning, that one would have to make a decision on a certain case. It's like when you see any award, it's the reasoning the arbitral tribunal would give, it's the reasoning a judge would give in their decision. So current AI models do not have this legal reasoning yet. They are only able to predict outcome. So you provide them with the data and they are able to predict the outcome of a case rather than providing reasoning for the decision making.
Okay, I get it. Thanks.
Hello,
Hi, Maroon.
how are you? Thank you for this session.
My
Okay,
pleasure.
so I have first of all, about the legal ontology, aren't some authors trying to create the theory of a virtual or digital person to be able to have a arbitrator or a judge, an AI judge?
We already had an AI mediator. It's one of the questions in the poll. I think I gave out an answer. Okay, but it's still very limited because it is not. It's still under development. The model of having like a full human full virtual arbitrator or mediator, but it's not on a case.
Oh, okay, and about the laws, you said that there isn't for now laws that allow the non-person, the non-human judge. When do you think there will be laws implementing and allowing such AI usage? And for which part of the world يعني do you think that we could get in the MENA region soon أو مثل العادة رح يكون بيوروب الأول بعدين بيكملوا عنه when do you think رح توصل لمحل when do you think the MENA region especially Lebanon is a
Okay, first of all, I'm not sure if no law at all permits having a virtual decision-making or an AI decision-making mediator or arbitrator. As for some of the laws that I mentioned, it seems like laws are now actually emphasizing on the need of having a human arbitrator or a physical full capacity decision-making arbitrator. But before that, you mentioned something on the chat that they are still limited in the data they have. And that's very true. It's because of the confidentiality of the awards and the decisions. And people are not yet confident in providing AI with the data because publicly. The construction sector is somehow similar, especially that lenders come in place. As for the laws, when might we be expecting laws to start allowing all three are being سباقين in terms of dispute resolution and allowing for the incorporation of artificial intelligence in the dispute resolution mechanisms.
Okay, thank you. But I can conclude from your answer that you don't think that we might get in Lebanon. Right?
First of all, we do not deal with in Lebanon with mega construction project disputes. Most of our contracts in terms of public-private partnerships have the seat of arbitration outside Lebanon. We might be using AI in a project's life in terms of large-scale projects to ensure transparency, governance, integrity of the project, and to facilitate data management. However, for the dispute resolution process, I do not believe we are still yet ready to welcome AI as a decision maker.
Thank you.
Did you Google the answers? Because actually it was in the first year an AI mediator decided the dispute was 2019, so 62% of the attendees got this correct. But it was a very, very small amount. It was for £2,000, and a robot mediator decided the case, granted £2,000. But this machine learning program is still under review, still needs more improvement to be tested on higher value disputes. In terms of construction cases in 2021, it was actually 38%. 38% of the cases at the ICC were construction disputes or were disputes in the construction sector. And we have a tie between increasing transparency and enhancing security, and blockchain technology will actually impact construction projects through both equally, but I am more of team transparency than security, because enhancing security has always been an important need and desire for contractors and developers and everyone involved in the project's life. But increasing transparency is highly required and effective for better governance and reducing the possibility of fraud in any way. And I believe that's it. Thank you so much all for attending, and it was really a pleasure having you all.